I think the best part of our team was the competitive spirit, the camaraderie, the fact that they wanted to compete and enjoyed the competition. And I thought, the players all got along very well together. And I thought we had a little bit more. Well, I know we had a lot more senior leadership than some of the past few teams, and all this came together pretty well. It got to the point where on Friday night, I was having the best time because I enjoyed watching them perform.
Clair Panthers. Woo! Let's go! Let's go!
The Panthers and their loyal following headed north to the lake for a season-opening battle with Erie's McDowell Trojans. The senior-rich Panthers would be without the services of all-conference player Pat Shepard, as well as starting linebacker Kevin Reedy.
It was really tough on me because I was like, I want to come back so bad, but then if I rush it, the injury will just get worse. And it was really hard watching from the sidelines, watching people play.
Being hurt and not being able to play, watching all your friends play, it's just pure torture. It's the worst thing in the world.
Senior kicker Josh Whiteside puts a charge into the season-opening kickoff, sending it high and deep. But a superb return down the sideline leaves Whiteside as the only hope to keep McDowell off the scoreboard. And he comes through. The Panthers' defense showed their grit right off the bat by shutting down any thoughts of a Trojan score. Kevin Matthews was the first Panther to touch the ball in 2003, and he sets the tone for the rest of the season with this 45-yard punt return. The USC offense gets on the board quickly as Sean Lee takes it in from 9 yards out. A Josh Whiteside extra point puts the Panthers on the board with just 4 minutes and 53 seconds gone in the season. Through the air. And especially on the ground, the Panthers had their way with the Trojans. A special moment for the offense that night was senior Devin Fackenthal's first ever touchdown. Just how did he get so wide open?
Simple play where we have the left tight end, he crosses this way, and then we have, I think, Bobby Petrini on the right side. He'd go on out on the right side, and I'd delay on the right side and come across. And usually that corner, I'd sneak behind the linebackers, and they wouldn't see me back there. I was wide open. Brought it in. Everybody was hoping I wouldn't drop it.
Although the offense shined, the brightest star in this late summer night was the tenacious defense, which held McDowell to just 167 total yards.
when we got into the game and we started taking control of the line of scrimmage, we thought we were doing something pretty special. At that point, we thought that the line had really progressed to a point further than what we had expected for that point of the season. I think just by the end of that game, we realized that we had a team that was going to be physical, and we had both an offensive and defensive line that was going to control some people.
It was quite an opening audition. Final score, Upper St. Clair 34, Erie McDowell Trojans 2. Another beautiful fall Friday night greeted the USC faithful at North Allegheny's Newman Stadium, the site of this top 10 battle between two angry cats. Tigers coach Jim Rankin was quoted in the Pittsburgh Tribune as saying, "This was one of the strongest teams he's had in quite a while at North Allegheny." Well, turns out that the strongest team that night was wearing the white road uniforms. Upper St. Clair forced 5 Tiger turnovers. The slippery ball helped the Panthers hand North Allegheny one of its worst home losses in the past 2 decades. Josh Helmrich completed 8 of 13 passes for 109 yards. The Panthers dominated every facet of the game in the first half, leaving the Tigers stunned in front of their home crowd. They went into the locker room with a commanding 21-0 lead. It was more of the same in the second half as Sean Lee keeps the momentum rolling with this stellar return of the second half kickoff. When senior wideout Jay Yannick snatched this Helmrich pass in the corner of the end zone, any thought of a North Allegheny comeback was erased.
Coach called a pass play for me. Actually, it was for Danny Cafaro, but he couldn't find him, so he told me to do it. So Josh made a great throw. I wasn't really open, but he threw it in right there. Caught it.
Sophomore running back Rami Nubani closes out the scoring with this dash to the corner to put up the final 7 points. The Panthers defense made a statement for the second week in a row. North Allegheny never pushed the ball past the Panther 40-yard line, and their 12 drives ended up with 7 punts, 5 fumbles, and a paltry 86 total yards. A 2-0 start against 2 of the tougher teams on the schedule was reason to celebrate. Final score, Upper St. Clair 42, North Allegheny 0. The 2003 home opener and first conference game finally arrived, and excitement was definitely in the air. The Albert Gallatin Colonials were up next, and it was going to be a long night for them. Danny Cafaro gets things started by blocking the Colonials' first punt and taking it in for a quick 7-0 lead. Punting proved to be costly for the Colonials, as Kevin Matthews takes their next punt and drives it down the sideline, following the tag team block of Danny Cafaro and senior Jimmy Bunn to put 7 more on the board. Having yet to give up a point in the young season, the Panthers were stunned to have their backs against the goal line. But Jimmy Cafaro puts himself in the perfect position and keeps the streak alive with his end zone pick and 30-yard return. Next up, the K-Town Show. Enjoy.
Panthers at their own 36. Helmrich pitches left to Matthews. Nice block to Bartolo. Now Matthews cuts it back outside down the sideline. He's at the 30 to the 20. One man to beat. He does. 10. Touchdown Matthews.
Well, Kevin is an outstanding athlete. If you go to all his football games and all his baseball games, I would say quite often he's the most dominant athlete on the field.
Pancakes were on the menu as Matt Shine absolutely buries his man, springing Sean Lee on this 35-yard jaunt to the Gallatin 10. Kevin Matthews takes it the rest of the way, slicing off a Zach Smith block to push the score to 34-0. In the second half, senior number 33, Bo Hess, gets in the act as he busts through the defense for a 16-yard score. On the ensuing kickoff by Whiteside, senior special teams ace Peter Blake rips the ball free, and Rami Nubani scoops up the prize and puts 6 more on the board. The final Panther points were provided by Mick Zangrilli on this roll right, which featured a valiant dive and stretch across the goal line, which did not go unnoticed by his happy teammates. The Panthers hung 62 on the board en route to win number 3.
Last year, even against Albert Gallatin, we kind of overlooked them, came out kind of flat. This year, our goal is to come out excited for every game as if it's the biggest game of the year, not worry about next week. And now that this game's over, we'll watch film tomorrow and then get ready for next week and hopefully get better each week until the playoffs.
The most important part about being a captain is know that you were chosen by your teammates to be a captain. And that means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to Matt too. That was probably one of the best times of the season, was just getting to walk out there with him every game. And you go out there and it's just like, it's something that's not going to be able to be replaced. And I mean, that's just something that I held with a lot of pride, knowing that like I said, that your teammates selected you, and that's very important to me.
It's a great feeling, it's a great group of guys, I've loved playing with them all season. It's the best season of my life, and I was honored to be able to, lead them out, me and Nick be able to lead them out there. It was really an honor.
Panthers headed south for another conference matchup, this time with the Ringgold Rams. The defense gets things started early as Sean Lee and Pat Shepard hold up the Ram ball carrier, allowing Kevin Matthews to not only strip the ball, but recover it too. That play leads to Josh Whiteside's first ever field goal, and it was no cheap shot either. He drills it from 39 yards out.
Right, my first field goal. I don't know, that was really the only time I was nervous this season. But once it was over with, I was real happy. Please, coach said good job. You know, that's all I wanted to hear. So.
It was a night for the Joshes as Josh Helmrich shows off his arm with this pass to a leaping Bobby Petrini for 20. Then a 19-yarder to Pat Shepard. And finally, this rollout and strike to Jay Yannick to put the Panthers up by 10. Junior lineman Rob Rankin displays his speed and strength on the same play as he sprints into the backfield and literally throws the Ram quarterback to the ground. Rankin breaks through again and forces a bad pass that is picked off by fellow junior Sean Lee. Jimmy Cafaro plows in to put the Panthers up by 17. The Panther defense finally gives up their first score, and it stirs up the home crowd a bit. But with 37 seconds left in the half, Josh Helmrich pulls off the play of the game.
37 seconds left to go in the half. Panthers up by 10. Helmrich back to pass. Scrambles, eludes a couple of would-be tacklers. And now sees a wide-open Matthews at the 30. Down the sidelines, he'll go untouched for a quick 6.
The third quarter featured this Helmrich to Shepard pass in the corner of the end zone, making it 31-7. Josh Whiteside pooches the ensuing kickoff, and once again a hustling Peter Blake recovers in Ram territory. Whiteside comes on to boot another field goal, this one from 36.
A 36-yard field goal attempt by Whiteside is good.
Sean Lee puts a nail into the coffin with this 86-yard interception and return as he simply blows past the Rams tacklers like they were standing still. It was no contest. Final score, Upper St. Clair 48, the Ringgold Rams 7.
They're all goofy in one way or the other. I mean, I could make a case for just about everybody.
We have lots of funny guys on our team, I think.
Devin Fackenthal.
He makes a lot of people laugh. He's just a goofy kid.
I think Devin Fackenthal. Matt Hogia. His one-liners are just second to none.
Devin definitely is a goofball.
Matt Hogia.
Jimmy Bunn's a goofball. Jimmy Cafaro's a goofball.
I mean, I like them both, but I think I'm funnier than they are.
Well, their idea of funny and my idea of funny is, you know, probably two different things.
I think Pat Shepard.
Ed, I think, was probably one of the biggest goofballs, also known as Pat Shepard.
Well, he has this face he likes to do. It's called the ugly face.
Yeah, the ugly face. Yeah, I whenever someone does something wrong, I bring it out, and I'll bring it out right now, frankly, if you want me to. That's pretty much what it is.
The Plum Mustangs pay a visit to Panther Stadium for a non-conference battle with the highly touted and unbeaten Upper St. Clair Panthers. It was a defensive battle throughout the first quarter as both offenses struggled. Jimmy Cafaro finally puts a spark into the crowd as he rips the ball out and Sean Lee recovers. A seemingly harmless naked bootleg turns into the first major blow of the season for the Panthers. Quarterback Josh Helmrich tears his ACL and appears to be lost for the season.
My knee buckled when I was running, and I've never been seriously hurt, so I'm not sure. Doc's asked all these questions if it hurts or whatever. I'll get an MRI as soon as possible, and hopefully everything will be all right. But he doesn't think it looks good, but you never know. So.
Well, sure, I was concerned. I mean, the fact that you have your starting quarterback and it becomes apparent that he will not be able to finish the season. It's a concern. That, having said that, now I was comfortable that we had a couple of guys who prepared hard every day and all summer, and were very much capable of being a force on our football team. And I thought, Joe Halakna stepped up and did this. I don't think we missed a beat too much.
I don't know. I don't really get too nervous. Obviously, it was on a big stage, but my teammates believed that I could do the job well, and I just tried my hardest to fill in for them.
Halakna gets a chance to settle in. And Josh Whiteside puts the Panthers on the board with a 25-yard field goal. The Mustangs just wouldn't quit. This bubble screen looks like it's going to go for 7, but a gritty Danny Cafaro makes a touchdown-saving tackle. A spirited sack by DeBartolo. Along with this crushing hit by Devin Fackenthal, sends a message to Plum that the battle was in full swing. On the last play of the first half, Coach Render shows a lot of confidence in his senior kicker by attempting a 48-yarder. but it fell just a few inches short. The Panthers had their hands full. In the second half, the Plum quarterback faked out the camera, but not Pat Shepard as he delivers a jarring hit, knocking the ball loose, recovered by Nick DeBartolo at the Mustang 5. Kevin Matthews takes it over from there, and the Panthers go ahead by 10. The defense holds again, and Kevin Matthews delivers another fine punt return deep into Plum territory. Nick DeBartolo shows off his power by rumbling down to the Plum 1-yard line. Then finishing it off with his 1-yard plunge. Joe Halakna put everyone at ease as he fires this touchdown to Bobby Petrini. The sure-handed 6', 165-pound junior has proven to be a clutch receiver as the season continues to unfold. Senior punter and backup quarterback Alex Candabaro pilots the Panthers to their final score. Final score, Upper St. Clair 31, the Plum Mustangs 0.
I'll tell you, we came out first half, we came out flat, and then we just showed how good we are. We came out in the second half, we just blew them away, and it was a really good experience.
Next in the Panthers' den, the Trinity Hillers, who had their sights set on knocking off the highly ranked Cats. The Hillers' high hopes were dashed on their very first play from scrimmage as Jimmy Cafaro scoops up this Trinity fumble and scoots down to the 1-yard line. Nick DeBartolo plows in and the Panthers are up 7-0 before most of the crowd has settled in their seats. The Panthers' second score resulted from this Bo Hess hit that knocks the ball free. Nick DeBartolo picks it up and takes off like there's a free buffet in the end zone. The senior co-captain demonstrates the speed that goes along with his strength as he races untouched for 78 yards. It's Nick DeBartolo again as he comes clean and sacks the Hiller quarterback for what should have been a safety, but the ball was marked at the Hiller 2. The resulting short field paid off as Kevin Matthews zips in from 9 yards out and electrifies the crowd with his celebration. A Panther gang tackle led by Pat Shepard forces another Hiller fumble, this time picked up by Kevin Matthews for a 28-0 lead. Special teams gets into the act as well, as senior punter Alex Candabaro knocks this punt deep into Hiller territory, and special teams terror Eric Snavely comes away with it. Clark and his coverage cohorts have played a huge part in the Panthers' amazing start thus far. Up steps senior, number 5, Joe Halak.
I think we all knew Joey's capabilities. Joey's a great athlete. He's a smart kid. He's got a great head on his shoulders. And he really came in and did a wonderful job with it. And, I was really happy for him that how well he did. He did a great job.
The Hillers put up little resistance. Final score, Upper St. Clair 49, the Trinity Hillers 0. Would a full moon and a homecoming crowd be enough to help the Fox Chapel Foxes pull off an upset? The 6-0 Panthers take to the road again, this time to trap the Foxes, who have hopes of their own of slowing down the Panthers' juggernaut. What's become a common sight is Kevin Matthews running free, and this night was no different as he takes this Fox punt back from 56 yards out to open the scoring. It's K-Town once again as he picks off this Fox Chapel pass and waits for Sean Lee to spring him free. On a 4th and goal, Jimmy Cafaro shoves into the end zone to put the Panthers up by 14. Joe Halakna gets warmed up with this 15-yarder to Kevin Matthews. Then strikes for 6 to Pat Shepard, who uses his entire 6-foot 4-inch frame to pull down the fade pass.
Joe Halakna's pass, Pat Shepard is for a Panthers touchdown.
Josh Whiteside chimes in with a 22-yard boot to push the lead to 24-0. The play of the night comes when Nick DeBartolo takes a simple handoff up the middle.
My personal best was probably a run in Fox Chapel, and it really didn't have anything to do with the outcome of the game, but I just had I believe it was a 66-yard run and just went up the middle, and that was probably my best run of the year.
The second half gets underway with Sean Lee fielding the kickoff like a shortstop. And then he never gives up until he's finally shoved out of bounds after a 55-yard return. Kevin Matthews takes it the rest of the way as the O-line seals off the corner. Number 23, senior Jimmy Bunn, achieves a special moment in his senior season.
on the ball carrier, goes in for the 11-yard touchdown.
The Panthers dominate once again. Final score, Upper St. Clair 52, Fox Chapel 21.
I've never been one that likes stars and stripes and all that business. And when I first got here, I said we were going to wear all black. They had white helmets. And so we spent a year with the black helmets, and then some of my former players from Uniontown came up. We were going to play Uniontown. And I was showing them around some of the facilities, and in that conversation, the one kid said, "Those black helmets are just so intimidating." And right then I thought, I'll never change.
The stage was now set. The 7-0 Panthers against the 7-0 Cannon McMillan Big Macs. Statewide TV was on hand to broadcast the biggest game to hit South Hills in quite some time. Zach Smith was ready. Joe Halakna was ready. Bo Hess was ready. And Sean Lee was definitely ready. Even Josh Helmrich tested his damaged knee with the hope of seeing some action. Coach Render, calm as any veteran coach could be with a big game on the line, looked on as his Panthers were steaming to get started. Cameras followed every detail in anticipation of this battle of unbeaten.
Okay, that's the hit, right? Okay? The eagle, that's the pin.
A familiar sight to start things off was K-Town cruising into the end zone to get the Panthers on the board early. But then an unfamiliar sight, an opponent that responds with a score of their own. Tied at 7, it was time for the special teams once again to pick it up a notch. Danny Cafaro blocks this punt, and an alert Peter Blake recovers at the Big Mac 15. K-Town then takes advantage of the field position with this magnificent twirling run for a score that brings the crowd to its feet. Again, though, fulfilling the promise of a solid matchup, the Big Macs knocked the score at 14. It was the Panthers' turn to answer now, as Sean Lee showed his athletic ability, leaping over a stunned Big Mac defender on this key run. The O-line caves in the MAC defense, and Jimmy Cafaro goes untouched for another score. With the Panthers up 21-14 and headed into the locker room for the half, there was time for one more play, an obvious Hail Mary pass.
Well, we liked our chances on the ground about as well as we did doing the Hail Mary, as you say, and I called for a basic dive up the middle, and
great call. Great call, because the defensive front that they were showing was real susceptible to an inside trap. And with Mickey's speed up the middle, there wasn't going to be anybody there except for a backer. And the key block was getting one of our linemen on that backer.
I remember a couple of the teammates were kind of like, oh, like they thought we were just giving up. Like, why'd we call that play? So he gave me the ball, and I kind of just went up the middle, and they were all drop back. I cut to the left, and then I saw Pat Shepard throw a block, and I just went right behind him, and it was wide open. I just went right in.
3 seconds left to go in the half. Halakna going to hand off to DeBartolo. DeBartolo up the middle. He cuts it back outside to the 20, 10 to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown for Nick DeBartolo. 41 yards, and what a backbreaker for the Big Macs.
number one, gave us a 14-point lead rather than a 7-point lead. But the sheer dynamics of what happened on the last play of the first half, and their coach admitted that it mentally it bothered them tremendously at the halftime approach.
Kevin Matthews sets the tone for the second half with this 81-yard scamper, which the crowd gets in the way, but they're happy too. Rob Rankin shows the statewide audience what Panther defense is all about. Jimmy Cafaro rumbles in from 25 to stretch the lead to 42-21. Sean Lee closes out the scoring with this 16-yard romp. The Panthers' ground game was unstoppable. Kevin Matthews racked up 169 yards, while Nick DeBartolo chimed in with 135. The 8-0 Panthers were now in sole possession of first place in the conference.
I really wanted to beat Canada more than any team I've ever faced in a sporting event. They talk a lot of stuff and couldn't back any of it up, and it was very satisfying to kill them.
We have 27 seniors, and they're the backbone of this team, and this is a very fun group to coach.
Number 2, Tony Ferrara. Number 5, Joe Halakna. Number 15, Josh Whiteside. Number 17, Alex Candabarro. Number 19, Mick Zangrilli. Number 23, Jimmy Bunn. Number 25, Noah Ketterman. Number 30, Nick Emilio. Number 32, Kevin Matthews. Number 33, Bo Hess. Number 37, Jimmy Cafaro. Number 40, Nick DeBartolo. Number 41, Ryan Richens. Number 45, Peter Blake. Number 51, Kevin Reedy. Number 52, Matt Bukta. Number 59, go long call. Number 71, Josh Cale. Number 73, Kevin Hoke. Number 74, Matt Hoya. Number 76, Zach Smith. Number 77, Matt Shine. Number 82, Jay Yannick. Number 83, Kyle Schwaba. Number 86, Andrew Palladino. Number 87, Devin Packenthal. Number 88, Pat Shepard.
In the past 3 seasons, the McKeesport Tigers handed the Panthers heartbreaking losses, twice knocking them out of the playoffs. It looked like the Tigers were going to do it again as they completely dominated Render's Rebels in the first half.
I think you have to give McKeesport a little credit, and they still had some of the best overall athletic talent that we faced.
The only bright spot in the first half was this Halaknida Shepherd strike for 15 yards. And then this Nick DeBartolo 44-yard jump. But the Tigers sent the Panthers back to the locker room, trailing 14-0. Whatever Coach Render said at the half sure seemed to work as the Panthers came out with a whole new attitude. Finally, with just 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the game, Kevin Matthews cuts off the blocks of Matt Shine and Bobby Petrini to put the Panthers on the board. The defense then stepped up and forced a Tiger punt from deep in their own territory. What happened next could be considered the play of the year.
Well, Coach Miller, before the play, decided that they think we could probably get in. And all year, everybody's been going, everybody to Danny, because he got the first one, I think, against Albert Gallatin, I think. So everybody was always looking for him, and he drew 2 or 3 guys, and I just had a clear shot to the punter, and he just blocked it.
Tigers up by 7, less than 5 minutes to go. Back to punt in their own end zone. And Ferreira up the middle, blocks the ball. There's a scramble forward in the back of the end zone. It's recovered by Ketterman. Touchdown. Touchdown, Panthers. No, wait a minute. They're going to call it a safety. The ball was obviously recovered in the back of the end zone, but they're going to call it a safety. And the Panthers are now down 14-9.
That was definitely a touchdown. My elbow was in, the ball was in. The only thing that crossed the back of the end zone was my helmet, and that shouldn't have been a touchback.
The march started with a key first down by a hard-running Sean Lee. Lee would just not be denied as he pushes the Panthers closer. Kevin Matthews then tiptoes the sideline, getting even closer to the Tiger end zone. K-Town almost sticks it in as he secures 4 more downs for the Panthers. After 2 defensive stops by the Tigers D, Halakna lines up the troops for a 3rd down play from the 2.
Panthers down 5. This will be their last drive of the game. Sean Lee in motion. Halakna play action. Fakes to Matthews. Corner of the end zone. Lee, touchdown! A fingertip grab in the corner of the end zone by Sean Lee. And the Panthers, who were down 14-0 with 8:19 left, now lead by a point.
After a long kickoff return and a couple of guy-hurt runs, the McKeesport Tigers have one last chance to stick it to Coach Render and the Panthers.
Tigers down by a point. Last play of the game. 39-yard field goal attempt is no good. No good. It is wide left. And the Upper St. Clair Panthers have come back from a 14-0 deficit to defeat the Tigers. Final score of 15-14. They finished the regular season 9-0, and the Panthers are the Quad West champions.
The highway to Hines would start at Panther Stadium with a visit from the 6-3 Indiana Little Indians. The Little Indians were making their first playoff appearance in a decade against the heavily favored Panthers. Visions of last year's opening round loss to Franklin Regional shot front and center as the Indians fake dive and roll nets a 63-yard touchdown. Their ensuing onside kick and recovery sends a message to the Panther sideline that they have nothing to lose. This Kevin Matthews key interception said, "Not so fast, Little Indian." The Panthers have awakened.
Halakna Hands off to Matthews up the middle. Nice block by DeBartolo. Great cut by Matthews. Heads toward the sideline. He's at the 40, the 50. He is motoring at the 40, 30. One man to beat. 20, 10, and a touchdown for Kevin Matthews. K-Town goes downtown, and the Panthers have awakened. They're now down a point after trailing 7-0. Kevin Matthews, who intercepted the ball, scores from 88 yards out. It is 7-6 pending the extra point.
The ultimate in Panther pride and hustle is 300-pound tackle Jake Surtee keeping stride with Kevin Matthews the entire length of the field. Then it was high diddle diddle, Cafaro up the middle for 7 more. The defense held strong as usual. Here Kevin Matthews sticks his head into the Indian ball carrier and knocks it loose for Jimmy Cafaro. On the next drive, K-Town's second effort converts a 4th and 2. 2 plays later, Joe Halakna finds Pat Shepard and tosses a perfect spiral to widen the lead. It was the Halakna-Shepard combo again to end the first half. The Panthers were on fire. Any thoughts of an Indiana comeback were extinguished when Kevin Matthews' well-timed hit knocks the ball loose and a host of Panthers attack for a safety. The Panthers just wouldn't let up, as witnessed by this Kevin Matthews kickoff return. This Jimmy Cafaro score. And junior Brandon Del Rey's touchdown-saving interception.
Pass intercepted on the goal line by Brandon Del Rey.
After an early scare, the Panthers sent the Indians packing and punched the pedal on the highway to Hines, advancing to round 2.
I'm always a little nervous before games. I had my headphones on. I always listen to some type of music before a game. And I know it's a big game, so I didn't want to really talk to anybody. I get pretty serious before a game. I'm not one to joke around, and especially for that game. So
on an away game like that, right when we get off the bus, I'd say, we kind of try to get into that type of mental state, I guess you could say, and kind of last until the end of the game.
The neutral turf of Titan Stadium in West Mifflin is the site for this neighborhood rivalry. The Panthers had not played the Hawks since 1999 and have not beaten the Hawks since 1997. Nonetheless, they were excited about the rematch. Despite some early nerves, and some enthusiastic defense by the Panthers. Bethel Park kept the ball for nearly the entire first quarter.
Number 4, B.J. Whitener. Number 4, B.J. Bittner.
Their drive mercifully ended with this goal line plunge and an early 7-0 lead, which did not sit very well with Coach Render. Aside from this Halakna to Shepherd strike for 22 yards, and this Nick DeBartolo stroll for 21. Defense was the name of the game.
Pass completed to number 32.
It wasn't until the first play of the fourth quarter that more points were scored. Unfortunately, they belonged to Bethel Park.
Touchdown, number 13, Eric Yanez. Come down here. Jeez, Pat, down your damn place in the huddle.
We were down, and the one thing I remember was Pat Shepherd came over to me on the sideline. We were both pretty upset. We couldn't believe that we were losing to this team, 14-0, or I think it might have been 14-7 at the time. We were still unsure. I mean, we knew we could come back. Pat Shepherd looked at me and he said, if we're going to lose, let's go out with me and you. Let's go out with a bang.
And what a bang it was. Shepherd and Falkenthal talked the talk and walked the walk by combining for 5 catches on a drive that culminated in this Halakna to Shepherd touchdown.
Corner of the end zone, touchdown, a diving grab by Pat Shepherd. The front corner of the end zone. And the Panthers are on the board.
The Panthers needed the ball back, and this crucial breakup of a third down pass provided just that. Nick DeBartolo shows his grit as he pounds through the Hawk defense. Kevin Matthews showed his senior leadership with this tough 16-yard romp, followed by the yellow flag. Then, just like 2 weeks before at McKeesport, the Panthers were back when Nick DeBartolo crashes in to tie the score. It was on to overtime, tied at 14. The face of Zach Smith displays the intensity of the moment as the Panthers win the all-important coin toss. The choice was made to start on defense. And what a wise choice it was. The Panthers hold strong for 3 down.
22-yard field goal attempt to give the Hawks the lead in overtime. The snap, the placement, the kick is up and is blocked. The kick is blocked by Danny Cafaro. And the Panthers will get the ball still tied at 14 in overtime as Danny Cafaro busted through, got his hand on the ball, and we're still tied at 14.
A DeBartolo slam. And a K-Town jam gets it within inches.
Still tied, third down. Halakna under center, hands the ball off to Matthews, and Matthews scores! They did it! They did it! The Panthers have come from behind to win it in dramatic fashion. What a game, what a finish! One of the most memorable games in recent Panthers history.
But there is more to this story than the final score. The comeback win will mark a very special moment in the lives of the seniors.
My best moment of the season would probably have to be tackling Pat Shepard after the Bethel Park game. He was just flat out, put the helmet down, looked at him, and he knew it was coming. He tried to defend, but no, there's no stopping it.
After the Bethel Park game, we were all walking out of the locker room after the game, and Coach Render came up to me and he asked me how I felt, and I told Coach, this is probably the greatest thing I've ever been a part of as far as sports is concerned, ever in my life. He said thanks, and it's just something about that little short conversation just really, it's just really meant a lot to me and meant a lot to him, and it was pretty cool.
It was back to West Mifflin again for the semifinal matchup between the 11-0 Upper St. Clair Panthers and the very tough 9-2 Penn Hills Indians. Both teams were riled up and ready as they take the field.
43-yard line of the Panthers. Anthony Morelli under center. Back to pass. Strong rush up the middle. And the ball is going to be knocked loose. And there's a scramble for it as Rob Rankin is going to dive on the football. Recovered on the Penn Hills 37-yard line. A strong rush from Bo Hess and Matt Shine to knock the ball loose. And the Panthers get the first break of the game.
Kevin Matthews then gets things rolling by following Josh Bale up the middle for 10.
Up the middle for the Panthers.
Then Nick DeBartolo shows the Indians what a power running game is all about as he puts the Panthers on the board. A missed extra point keeps the Panthers' lead at 6 until Ed Collington of the Indians turns on the Jets to quickly put the Panthers behind by 1.
Touchdown 23 Ed Collington.
Blocks by Rob Rankin and Pat Shepard spring Sean Lee for 30. A tough night for kicker Josh Whiteside keeps the offense stalled.
The kick is up. The kick is no good. Making the score, Penn Hills 7, Upper St. Clair 6.
But great defense like this hit by Matt Shine keeps the Indians from pulling away at the half. In the second half, the O-line was on fire, and Kevin Matthews was virtually unstoppable. Junior Jeff Schock, number 99, clears the way for K-Town to put 6 more on the board. A failed 2-point try has the Panthers up 12-7. The defense then steps up. Bo Hess and Nick DeBartolo forced Morelli to launch this brick on a big third down. Nick DeBartolo then stretches the lead to 19-7. The 12-point lead, however, did not last long. Anthony Morelli throws up this prayer that is tipped and caught for 6. Their extra point, though, clanks off the upright, leaving the Panthers up by 6. Rob Rankin makes his presence felt by knocking down this Morelli pass. Then he shows his grit by staying on the field despite a painful leg cramp. Unable to move the ball, senior punter Alex Canderbaro steps up and knocks a 50-yarder to pin the Indians deep. Penn Hills tries to mount a comeback, but Nick DeBartolo will have none of it. Junior Adam Davis forces Morelli to throw this pass into the arms of Jimmy Cavero, stopping the Indians' drive cold. Again, unable to move the ball, unsung hero number 17, Alex Canderbaro, steps up.
4th down for the Panthers. Alex Canderbaro standing at his own 35-yard line. He already had a 50-yarder earlier in the game, and now his punt will bounce back toward the 15-yard line. They're going to let it roll to the 11, to the 10. It's going to continue to roll, getting a great Panthers roll. This is the Energizer Bunny punt of the game. It keeps going and going all the way to the 4-yard line.
Let's see, in the fourth quarter we had the wind going at our back, so I just tried to put it up there in the wind, and the wind took it and it went a good 50 yards, so I didn't expect it to roll. That's just, luck, but it worked. Doing that, I felt like I really contributed something to the team and I actually helped win the game.
This is it. Last chance for the Indians. Down by 6, 4th and 4 on their own 33-yard line. Morelli back to pass. Strong rush up the middle. Heavy pressure. He throws. It is incomplete. Knocked away by Kevin Matthews. And that should do it as Upper St. Clair will be heading to Hines for the championship game. What a thrilling finish. What a season. 12-0. The Panthers will be heading to Hines Field.
I'm honored to be going to Heinz Field. It's like Glory Days again. We're going back.
They started doing this rendition of Glory Days in the back of the bus.
It just started off as a song, but really became a theme for our year because we knew that these were like the best times of our lives.
What we do after every game on the way home from the game on the bus, we just start singing.
Josh Cale, I guess, was kind of an unofficial song leader, and
Yes, I guess Coach just heard my voice above everyone else's. Well, I am the originator of Glory Days, and I never fully got the acknowledgement that I should have.
officials will take X amount of whatever from the head coach. Some of the things I do, a younger coach or an assistant coach couldn't get away with. But I like to let them know that I'm watching the game also, and the people in the stands aren't there to watch them perform. They're there to watch the players. I don't know that anybody's ever changed a call because of me, but you know, I like to fight for my team, and I like the officials to know that they're being watched.
When I walked out at first, when we first got down the tunnel right before it was time to go out there, you had the fans up above you. All you could really see was the white banner and the crowd all around us and stuff. And I don't know, when we broke through the banner, it was just awesome. I don't know how else to describe it.
Kickoff is next to the Quad A title game, Upper St. Clair and Central Catholic.
It was an amazing journey. Despite the loss of their spark plug, Kevin Matthews, the Upper St. Clair Panthers battled their hearts out.
Shows you some of the character of Upper St. Clair, that, you know, the clock may be running down, you might be getting close to the 2-minute mark, but Upper St. Clair is going to keep fighting to the end.
Though the last game was their first loss, the 2003 Glory Days Panthers were winners. Incredible winners, because they came together as a team.
I say I love my teammates and I'll miss playing with them every day. Doesn't get any better.
Football has been a great experience. Probably made friendships that last a long time.
This is the best time of my life, and playing with these guys was the greatest thrill that I'll probably ever have. And Heinz Field was great, and just being around them in general, I'm going to miss it a lot.
You couldn't ask for anything more in your high school career. I mean, except for maybe win the last game. But every team but one loses their last game, as long as they're playoff bound. But it was just great, you know.
Football's been the best time of my life, past 12 years or whatnot, and I don't know, it's just a lot, you know, have fun while it lasts. And
I just want to say it's been great times and things that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. And thanks to everybody.
This team was great. We were all friends and we all had a good time. It was a great way to finish out our high school career.
I just like to be thankful for my parents or whoever supported me join football. I started playing sophomore year. That was my first year, and now I reflect back on that situation. I think that it was a good thing I joined football.
Well, it was a really good year, and I think it's been really fun 4 years, and I really appreciate all the good times and the wins and stuff.
I would say I love playing with these guys. Best years of my life. I'm never going to forget any of them.
It's been a good ride. It'll be a keeper in terms of memories.